Most of us think about passive income like it's some kind of light switch. One minute, you're grinding away at your job, and the next, poof, you're retired on a beach. But that's not really how it works, is it? There's this huge gray area in the middle, a journey really, with three very specific milestones where your life, your psychology, and your options just fundamentally change. So let's break down that journey, starting with the one moment that really changes everything. So check this out. This quote from investor Nick Maggioli. This is what I'm talking about. Picture it. He wasn't on a beach. He was sitting in a cubicle eating a sad desk salad when his phone buzzes. It's a notification for over $1,000. Now, that's not life-changing money, not yet, but it was all about how it arrived. For the very first time, real money showed up in his account without a direct one-to-one trade for his time. And when that happens, it forces you to ask a really, really uncomfortable question. I mean, seriously, can you? We are all obsessed with the wrong number, net worth. It's this big, flashy number that everyone loves to talk about, but you can't walk into a grocery store and pay with your unrealized capital gains. You can't pay your electric bill with your portfolio. What actually buys you freedom, what you can actually live on, is something else entirely. And this slide just nails the difference. Think about it. Net worth is potential energy. It's a pile of value that could do something someday. But cash flow? Man, that's oxygen. It's the actual dollars hitting your bank account every month that let you breathe, that let you live. And the journey to generating that oxygen, well, it happens in stages. So here's the roadmap. It is not one giant leap. It's a series of three distinct milestones, and each one unlocks a totally new level of freedom, both financially and, maybe more importantly, psychologically. First, you just have to prove the system is real. That's validation. Then you secure your basic survival. And finally, you reach abundance. Let's dig into that very first step, which is honestly probably the hardest one. Right, milestone one, it's called validation for a very good reason. See, this isn't really about the money. It's about proving to yourself that this whole passive income thing isn't just some fantasy you read about on the internet. It's about making it real. And believe me, this is the stage that's going to test every ounce of your discipline. And what's the target? It's $1,000 a month. That's it. $12,000 a year. That is the magic number. It's the number that proves the system actually works. So how in the world do you get there? Well, there are two very different ways to go about it. Okay, if you're going the totally traditional route, just investing in the stock market, you'd need something like $300,000 to safely generate $1,000 a month. Now, for most of us, that just feels impossible, right? But there's another path: trading sweat equity. This just means building something, a YouTube channel, an online course, a small rental property that requires your time and your skill up front instead of a giant mountain of cash. Hitting that first $1,000 a month, it is the ultimate proof of concept. It just completely rewires your brain because in that moment, you have proven to yourself that the system is real, the mental model we've all been taught that you have to trade your hours for dollars is shattered. All of a sudden, you have this little safety valve. That $1,000 can cover groceries, utilities, maybe a chunk of your rent. And this, right here, is where the exponential curve officially begins. You're no longer just saving from a paycheck. Your money is starting to build on itself. And that proof of concept, that's the foundation for milestone 2, survival. This is the point where that constant, low-level financial terror that so many of us live with, it just starts to fade away. Your life genuinely starts to feel different here. The target for this milestone is $3,500 a month, so that's about $42,000 a year. In the personal finance world, this is often called lean financial independence. Look, it's not wealth, not yet, but it is absolutely security. And that security creates something amazing, what some people call the toxic job shield. Why? Because at this level, your passive income is covering the big 3 expenses that cause almost all our anxiety: housing, food, and transportation. When your basic survival is handled, guess what? Your boss loses their power over you. You gain the ability to walk away from a terrible job without facing utter ruin. You have options, real options. The psychological shift here is just profound. That constant nagging dread you feel when bills are due, it just evaporates. You can finally say no to bad projects, bad bosses, bad opportunities. You have the security to take a calculated risk, maybe start that business you've been dreaming about, or switch to a career you actually care about. Now, let's be clear. You are not rich at this milestone, but you are free. Free from the crushing anxiety of financial ruin. And that freedom is absolutely priceless. And that freedom brings us to the final stage. Milestone 3, abundance. This is where the financial math starts to get, well, for lack of a better word, almost obscene. The power of compounding has officially reached escape velocity. The target here is about $8,300 a month. That works out to $100,000 a year, earned completely passively. To put that in perspective, at this level, if you have $2.5 million invested, a decent 10% year in the market adds $250,000 to your net worth, without you lifting a single finger. This is what total decoupling looks like. Time and money are no longer connected for you, at all. Your wealth is now growing way faster than you can reasonably spend it. You can afford nice dinners out, international travel, a solid car, all without ever touching your original investments. You are literally, and this is the crazy part, earning a full-time salary while you sleep. But here it is. This is probably the most critical distinction in this entire journey, and it's what almost everyone gets wrong. The leap from milestone 2 to 3, from survival to abundance, that's about luxury. It's about nicer things, more comfort. But the leap from milestone 1 to 2, from validation to survival, that's about life and death. It's about survival. It's about freedom from fear. The initial goal isn't the beach house. It's just being able to sleep soundly at night. And this is why so many people quit during that first milestone, because the progress feels completely invisible. You're working 60-hour weeks, putting everything you have into it, and for what? It feels like you're earning pennies. But you have to remember this. You have to burn this into your brain. The journey is exponential. Exponential curves look totally flat for a really long time, right up until they don't. You just have to survive that brutal flat part of the curve to see it bend towards the sky. So, what's the big takeaway here? It's this. Don't you dare obsess over milestone 3 when you're still at 0. That's like trying to qualify for the Boston Marathon when you've never even run a single mile. It's just not helpful. It's intimidating. Your only job right now is to get to $1,000 a month. That's it. Prove the concept to yourself. Everything else in this entire journey builds from that single achievement. So the roadmap really is that simple. $1,000 a month validates the model, $3,500 buys your freedom, and $8,300 buys abundance. But please remember, only the first milestone matters until you hit it. So the real question to ask yourself is, where are you on the spectrum? Are you just starting to build, trying to lay that first brick? Or are you pushing hard towards that next threshold? Because the math will always, always work. The only real variable is whether you'll stick around long enough to see it compound.